Hello, my awesome third grade artist. Today we're going to be starting a new project. We're going to be creating these warm and cool modern landscapes, and they're going to be based off an artist named Georgia O'Keeffe. So before you start this video, teachers, show the students the video Little People, Big Dreams. The full title is in your lesson plans, and it is a book called Little People, Big Dreams being read aloud. It's about Georgia O'Keeffe. And I'm going to show you a picture by Georgia O'Keeffe. So like you are going to learn in the video, Georgia O'Keeffe was an American artist. She was a modernist painter. So she did things a little bit differently. Her art was a little different than some of the past art. It didn't look perfectly realistic, but she was painting from life from most of her things. This is one of her paintings, and it's a view of the landscape. So these are the mountains, and this is some of the sun coming in behind, the sun reflecting on the mountains and the sky. She first lived in New York, and she moved to New York to create her art, and she found her husband and married her husband there. And then they moved out west. She really liked the state of New Mexico. I'm going to show you this map of the United States. So she had lived in New York for a while creating her art, and New York City has lots of big skyscraper buildings, lots of people, and she liked nature. So eventually she moved to New Mexico, and there's deserts in New Mexico, and she loved that landscape. She loved all the flowers, the mountains, even the animal skulls that she might find in the desert. She would paint these. And she's really well known for painting very, very up-close pictures of stuff, like you saw in the video. She would paint a flower, but it didn't look like a flower like you and I think of, because she would zoom in so close to it. And this modern style was something new that people hadn't seen before. At first, they didn't like it, but now she's one of the most famous American artists that ever lived. So we're going to be creating a landscape similar to the style of Georgia O'Keeffe. This is one that I did. We are going to be using lines. So we're going to use these lines to create our drawing. We're going to outline them in black later, so they're really going to pop and stand out. We're going to be using space. So around some of these shapes, some of the background, we're going to be painting in or coloring in all of that. We're going to talk about warm and cool colors, and of course, all of these shapes that we create by drawing with our lines. All right, so to begin with, you are going to get a piece of this black paper. You're going to put your name label on the back, and then you're going to turn it vertical like this. So the long side is going up and down. Make sure everybody's got theirs going in the same direction, because it'll really help when the ones that we pull for the art show later, they'll all be going in the same direction. It'll help me with matting. All right, so to begin with, you are going to create your landscape. So your teachers have one of these handouts, and you can put this up or put it on the Elmo for the kids to see. But I'm just going to kind of walk you through it, this tutorial on drawing. And yours does not have to look exactly like mine. I really don't want yours to look exactly like mine, because this is your unique drawing. But you can kind of take what I do and change it up. I'm going to start with a white colored pencil. You could use a really light one out of your colored pencil class pack set. You could use yellow, light green, light blue, just anything that's going to show up. So I'm going to start by making some heels at the bottom. So I'm just going to come about 3 fingers up, and I'm going to make a line that kind of curves down. These are some of my overlapping heels that I'm going to create. Start here and create another one. So you'll kind of get the sense that there's lots of rolling heels that overlap each other. Maybe I'll put another one here. You do yours how you want. I don't want yours to be in the exact same spot mine are, because like I said, this is your unique drawing, and yours shouldn't look exactly like mine. But I've got several heels here that overlap. Now we're going to create our mountains. So remember, Georgia O'Keeffe painted from life, but her pictures didn't look exactly how it looks in real life, and that's how ours is going to be. We're going to be creating these mountains with these big upside down U shapes, okay? And they're going to overlap also. So I'm going to start right here. You start wherever you want. I'm going to make a big upside down U shape. And then if one is behind it, if there's one that's kind of peeking out behind it, you wouldn't see this part of it, but it would kind of start and go up and then come here. So it overlaps. And maybe I'll put another one here. And then maybe over here, I'll have one just all by itself. Don't make them too small because they'll be hard to color. We're using oil pastels and you can't do a lot of real tiny detail. Now I'm going to make my sun or my moon. It can be a sun or a moon. So you're going to be able to decide that when you do your colors. But I'm just going to start by making a circle, a small circle, and I'm going to make some concentric circles. That's when one circle is inside of another. So I'm going to start with a small one, then I'm going to go around and make a bigger one. I'm not using a circle template because I like it to look a little imperfect, and that's how Georgia O'Keeffe's art was also. It wasn't perfect, so I'm just making circle shapes, and I'm going to go out here. Everywhere you reach a line, you need to pick your pencil up, kind of think of where it would go, put your pencil down again. You can make it as big as you want. I think I'll go one more, and then it would go like that, but I'm not drawing it here and then up through there. Oh, I forgot to make this one come up. And that's just it. That's our basic design. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, so before we're going to save the black for last because black can kind of mix in and muddle your colors. So I'm going to be using this set. This is an older set. They're kind of yucky looking, but I can just easily wipe them up with a paper towel. This set of oil pastels, it's got lots of colors. And we're going to be thinking about our warm and cool colors. So you're going to need to think about your picture as in terms of the sky and then the land, all right? The landscape and the sky. So the landscape is our hills and our mountains, and then the sky is our background and our sun or our moon, all right? So you're dividing into two pieces. Now, on those two areas of your drawing, one will be warm colors and one will be cool. So the landscape will either be warm or cool, and then you're going to do the opposite of that in the background. What you do for the background sky is going to determine if it looks like night or day. So if you use cool colors in your background, remember cools are like purples and blues and greens, it's going to look like night if you use cool colors. This would be like a moon. And so if you did cool colors back there, you would do warm colors for the mountains and the land. On the other hand, if I use warm colors in the background, like our oranges, our yellows, pinks, reds, it's going to look like the day, and that would be the sun. And then all of this would be cool. So I did my first example. I made a warm background. So see, all of these are warm colors. Pinks, oranges, yellows, reds. I did a cool landscape. I'm going to do the opposite this time. So my landscape's going to be warm. So when I start to color with these oil pastels, it's really important to layer them. So I'm just going to start with one of these mountains, and I'm going to make it warm. I'm going to outline it with this dark orange. And you can just kind of leave a little gap where the white colored pencil is. Later, we're going to outline that in a black oil pastel. But I'm just going to outline this first, and I'm going to color it in. I'm doing the ladder method. I start in the top, and I go down, and it keeps my oil pastel going in the same direction. If your oil pastel breaks, just pick up that little part that's left and use it. It's okay. And you can kind of see where some of that black is coming through. And that's okay. But we're going to layer up our color, and you'll see less and less of that. So I've started just with that. And that looks okay. But let's add some more layers, and it'll look even better. So now I'm going to use, I've just got a teeny tiny little piece of this lighter orange. And I'm just going to kind of go in there and layer over it. At the top. And again, I'm using my ladder method where I climb down the ladder. And now the color is looking so much more rich. It's filling in some of that black. It looks really good. I could even get some of this pale yellow and go over some of it. Oop, see, that happens sometimes. So then you just kind of, and that pale yellow is really not showing up. Sometimes that happens. They just don't show up. So that didn't really show up much. Let me see what happens if I use this yellow. Okay, that shows up. Kind of making some yellow highlights on it. And then you'll have little pieces that come off of your oil pastel. That's okay. You can, sometimes I'll just kind of hold my paper to the side and blow it off, or kind of tap it on the edge of the paper and it comes off, on the edge of your desk and it comes off. All right, so you would just keep doing that with all of your warm areas. So let me color now a cool area. Remember I said if the landscape's warm, the background's going to be cool. So I'm going to come in and start putting in some cool colors in the background. Like this is going to be like a moon. So I outline and then I color in the same direction. And I'm going to go in with a different shade of blue and kind of layer it. And then maybe I'm going to do some purple on this next one. Trying to color in. And remember, you're going to be outlining it in black. So if your edges aren't perfect, that'll be more in the stage when we outline. Just try to remember to outline, layer all of your colors. It's really important. So I'm going to get a color. This is kind of like a lighter purple and layer in there. And it just, again, it makes that color so much more rich. All right, so we're going to pretend like we've done the whole thing. So remember, warm or cool in the sky, warm or cool in the landscape, teachers. Help them remember that. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to take a black oil pastel once you're completely finished, and you're just going to go back over all of those white or light colored pencil lines and outline them in black. And it really makes it look good and stand out. We're going to do a black, and then we're going to do a white. We're going to do a reflection too. So I'm going to do the black first, or you can do the white first. It doesn't matter. You do it however you want. But see, I'm outlining. Then I'm going to take a white. Let me find my white. And I'm going to make some highlights. So I'm going to go around the edges of some of these like this and just make a few little highlights. And then like maybe in these circles, just kind of going around the edges. Okay, so let me go back and show you my finished one. So after you've colored it, you'll outline in your black, and then you see where I've kind of gone in on some of these, like at the top of these heels, and I've added some white, and it really makes it look good. I've also, even on this pink that I did back here, I added a good bit of white layering in there, and it made it really look nice. So I can't wait to see how these look. Take your time, do a really good job. When you're finished, the teachers, you will have in your lesson plan, you'll have this artist statement. So you can just put this up on your Elmo. You don't have to make a copy for all of the students, but give them a piece of copy paper and let them complete this. They can just, they don't have to write all the question out, but they'll name their artwork. They will talk about how they created their artwork, what tools, supplies, and techniques they use, because we want to see if they can write about what they use and see if they're learning that. And then what does this piece of art mean to you? That'll be a little personal statement they make. So do a really good job. I'll put this art on Artsonia, and if you work really hard, you may even make it into the Lee County Art Show. And I will see you next time. Bye.